Yeah, Sumit. So I think largely what we firmly believe is pandemic. I think for all of us, right, pre-pandemic and post-pandemic, the business rewriting has happened across industry, right, and that's when we possibly realized the India and the Bharat story, right, and digitalization was the only way, kind of, where we could kind of reach out to a larger segment, right, of whatever our clientele is. For MFI, it is their customers. For a debt market player, it is the investor who's sitting out in a tier 2, tier 3 city who doesn't have right now that part. And so when I think you picked up the right point. And this new young generation, which is emerging as an investor class, are willing to take that hikes. The family offices are willing to take hikes.
Right, right.
The third part which is happening is there is a larger allocation to the fixed income space. Everything cannot just be an equity or a real estate, right? That's been a larger realization,
right,
which
right.
is happening. Now, kudos to SEBI. Here, I will take an opportunity to say, I think, highlight that SEBI has done a wonderful job, right? So, online platforms like the digital lending guidelines, which recently came in, SEBI has formalized the online bond platforms. They want to be registered as a stockbroker. Now, what does it mean? It means that it has given them the legal sanctity and the regulatory clarity, right? Which as a platform was required, right? For example, AK logo. I mean, we have our IndiaBonds as
right.
online bond platform. Now, what it did was that it gave that legal sanctity to the entire platform. Correct. Now, today, typically an application form, correct, takes only 2 minutes, right, for it to be filled. Exactly 2 minutes, right, to be filled. It'll fetch the KYC, the application is done, settlement done through the UPI, correct. And we don't need to go and have a very large branch, right? So, to answer your question, in the recent public issues, right, that we happened, right, we do a lot of public issues, including the we saw this component substantially increasing. The contribution of online bond platforms, right? And there are a lot of debt market players who promoted the online bond platforms. We see this contribution coming in a big way, right? That's increasing purely because of the convenience, right? And the settlement being through the UPI.
Yeah.
So, that's actually started happening. And so I would not be surprised, right, that non-institutional market, right, typically largely will come in through the online bond platforms, right, rather than the traditional route. And what we also, again, one more data point which was important, again, recently when we were doing a webinar, right, for again a public issue through the online bond platform, IndiaBonds. See, there the participation was almost more than 1,000 people. Correct. Now, a similar pre-pandemic in a roadshow, typically we generally saw a participation 70 to 100 people per roadshow. Correct.
Right.
That itself shows, right, that the ease and the convenience, right, of the online bond platforms, right, are increasingly part, and they offer stock in the secondary market, right. So, we clearly see the trend happening from the non-institutional side.
Right.
Institutional, you have the stock exchange EBP platforms, right, which are the platforms. They will tend to go there, but these online bond platforms will typically be useful for the non-institutional.
Correct. So what it will do is, it'll, if I can use the term retailization, it will kind of enhance the retailization of the market. It will, because it's easier to access. And maybe the ticket size also can be smaller, and you can also have HNIs, and you can also have retail individuals participating in this market.
So one more part is, in fact, from 1st of January 2023, again SEBI, kudos to SEBI, they've reduced the face value for a listed entity to 1 lakh rupees.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Now, the public issue market has always seen that ticket size to be around a 3-4 lakh rupee, right? So it's largely, I mean, the size is fairly attractive, right? From 1 lakh. Earlier, it used to be like a 10 lakh.
Right.
Correct. So yeah. So I think the stage is set, and yields are attractive. right? And we see that to
True.
be a little more extended period of time. So we will possibly see a lot of a non-institutional demand across. So MFI will obviously be also benefiting across with all the other NBFCs.
Correct.
Yes, there is definitely a yield play around there.
Correct. And especially as you said that the supply, if I can say the supply of papers, or rather the demand and supply, it will be matching better, because there are, as you said, there are individuals, let's say, who are not getting enough yields from the fixed deposits, or they're willing to take a little more risk, and they're looking for higher fixed income yields. And this can be a wonderful platform for that.